Hello, hello, hello. My name is Dan Cap, and welcome back to DCap Recaps. So we're reviewing RuPaul's Drag Race Season 13, Episode 4. All the girls are together in the workroom. You know, they have their face-off when the winners see the B Squad. So Elliot goes and hides before the B Squad comes in. So she's hiding, and the winning girls are asking, where's, Elliot? I thought there was one more person. And they talked about, they had to vote Elliot out. They didn't really say anything, too juicy, which I think was they were supposed to kind of tear her down or something, but no one really did that. So then when she came out, it kind of was like, oh, here she is, but it's not like they were like, oh, she sucked, her outfit sucked, she was trash, mama, this is garbage. There wasn't really that much of it. It was just kind of like, well, we didn't have that much to go off of, and unfortunately she got the pork chop. But yeah, so she comes out and, kind of digs into Tamisha a little, and Tamisha's like, I'm not the 1, the 2, or the 3, so you got the wrong one. But yeah, so then they show them coming into the workroom the next day, all out of drag. It looked like there was 1 million people in this room. Like, throughout the episode, I could not get over how many people it looked like. I don't know if maybe 13 is one more than other seasons or something, but there's 13 girls, and it just seems like the workroom is full. When RuPaul comes in and there's that sweeping shot of all the girls standing there, it looks like there could be 99 people in the room. Like, there were so many people. And then hopping forward to the runway, I was like, this is going on and on and on and on and on. I think sometimes when there's that many girls, they don't maybe play as much of their runways, but I feel like I was watching the runway for so long and I was like, oh, I forgot that girl hadn't come out yet. This is just, it was so long. And RuPaul tells them that their maxi challenge is going to be a team acting challenge. They're each going to be acting in a RuPaul Mark Channel original movie, but instead of Christmas, they have 3 holidays. They have April Fool's Day, Flag Day, and Valentine's Day. So Team Valentine's Day, their movie is called Misery Loves Company, and it's Olivia Lux, Denali, Elliot with 2 T's, and Kamora Hall. So Denali immediately wants the big role. She said, I will be the lead, blah, blah, blah. She looks at the script and is like, damn, there are so many lines. How am I going to do this? And I'm like, yeah, that was very, courageous of you to just take that role, especially since you're not really, a super big acting girl. I think in the past, you really see people shine with these smaller roles a lot of the time, unless it's, someone who's really good at acting and is blowing it away. Shea Coulee in the 9021 Ho challenge, she had the small grandma role and she just killed it. You really just have to get in there with, really just taking the lines that you have and making them amazing. So you really can shine and win the challenge with a smaller role. The Flag Day team, which it's God Loves Flags, is the name of the movie. Clearly, you can kind of pick up what that's based off of. But it's Rosé, Simone, Lala Ree, and Utica. So, obviously, RuPaul comes around, and Utica's kind of playing this character that's kind of hippy-dippy. And RuPaul asks Utica if she's ever smoked weed, and she's very, a question, yes. Weed, is that what you said? Yes. Look over there. Very evading the question. She did not want to own up to it. And RuPaul is dying. I thought it was funny. RuPaul is on the floor cackling. She thought it was the funniest thing she had ever seen in her entire life. So, points for Utica. So the April Fool's Day team, it's Tina, Gottmik, Joey J, Tamisha Iman, and Candy Muse. So Candy immediately says this is my part. I'm highlighting these lines. Like, I'm gonna snatch this part, which, you know, take what you want, you know, squeaky wheel gets the oil. So go and grab what you want, let everyone know that's what you're doing. And if no one tells you no, it's yours. Like, you got it. So that's basically what she did. Got Mick in confessionals, was like, oh, okay, that's not really how that works, but you got it, that's you. Going into the Valentine's Day challenge, the Misery Loves Company, Denali is really like struggling with these lines. One thing I will say, RuPaul uses a lot of the same references. They reference Showgirls, they reference Mommy Dearest, there's just a lot of references. And, you know, RuPaul is older, and a lot of the contestants are a lot younger. You know, these movies are from before these people were born. So you can't really fault them for not knowing these references from, you know, years and years before they were born. You know, things that were coming out when some of their parents were born. So that's just one thing. Like, I've never seen Mommy Dearest, and I get the references sometimes just from watching Drag Race, or just because it's in the media, but like, you know, putting this where this ought to be, I didn't get that. And obviously Denali didn't get it because she kind of like messed up the wordplay. One reference I definitely did get was the Tyra Banks, "We were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you?" Kimora just wasn't picking up on the cadence. I don't know if she got the reference or not, but it looks like Ross says to her, like, how does Tyra say it? "We were all rooting for you. How dare you?" Kimora is, I was rooting for us. I was rooting for us. Again and again and again. I was rooting for us. I was rooting for us. How dare you? And even if she just ad-libs, like, I think it kind of would have added something and kind of shown that she knew the reference. You know, play with the script. Just, if it's funny, they're not really going to be like, what was that? Take it out. But she obviously was really struggling, and I thought it was hilarious that she was in full padded body under a green screen suit. She said, "I will be a woman. I don't care if only my face is showing. This body, I'll have hips, I'll have boobs, like, I'm gonna be padded for the gods." So the Valentine's Day plot is kind of that Denali is, you know, a businesswoman, and her grandmother is passing away, so she's gonna inherit her grandmother's rose farm. And because she's rich and greedy, she wants to, you know, plow it down or whatever and build a fudge packing factory. You know, Elliot is playing kind of a Cupid character who is like, you know, she doesn't understand the true meaning of love and roses and whatever. Denali was in love with the tree, who's played by Kimora. "Why would you leave me?" Elliot makes Kimora fall back in love with the tree, and eventually, you know, she's so in love, and she doesn't care who knows it that she's in love with the tree. So, you know, she has a change of heart. And this is basically the theme of each of these skits. So at the end of the Valentine's Day skit, Kimora, the tree, actually turns into a beautiful prince, and it's Jeffrey Boyer Chapman, who's kind of a Drag Race staple. So then the God Loves Flag skit, it's Simone, and her family owns a flag factory. Lala Ree is her, you know, is like kind of working at the flag factory, and she's in this itty bitty tiny costume. Like, I don't know if this was just the costume for whoever was gonna play that part, and Lala Ree just squeezed herself into it, but this thing is like, it's basically at her waist, but it's supposed to be a dress. That's like a flag. Simone comes back and says she's gonna tear down the flag factory and turn it into a wall factory. So Lala Ree is talking to Utica, who's like an older, you know, the hippy dippy character, telling her, you know, I can't believe that Red Flag is gonna sell the flag factory and make it a wall factory. And, you know, there's kind of a tongue-in-cheek, like, you know, not everyone is like immediately into flags, but I saw the most beautiful flag. at Woodstock or whatever. So then Simone goes and talks to Rosé, who's playing a little gnome, and Simone kind of alludes to the fact that she's a gay woman. The gnome gives her advice to kind of be herself, and if you can't love yourself, how are you gonna love somebody else? So she has a change of hearts. She comes out. She goes to the flag factory and says, "You know what? Let's keep it. I love flags." And they have a beautiful one of those gay flags that also has the trans flag within it. And then at the end, she goes back to the gnome, and the gnome turns into the prince, Jeffrey Boyer Chapman. But Simone likes women, so the prince was just there to stand for her, give her some snaps for coming out and being herself. Going into the April Fool's one, Gottmik is a big city lawyer, and she needs to basically crush her family's in joke shop because her boss tells her that they're going to take over and get the deed to it. So she goes to the joke shop, and Joey J is like her grandmother or her mother or something. Always she has like the zap hand. It's basically like that scene in Hairspray when Thelma, right, her name? Michelle Pfeiffer from the movie goes to Tina's, is it Tina? Tracy goes to Tracy's father's joke shop, and he's like, doing the zap hand and like the googly glasses. And, Candy is just like, her name is Whoopee Cushion, and she's the best employee at this joke shop. So she's just like messing around. She's like, "You need a laugh." She's like, jumping around, just being like goofy and crazy, which is like very Candy, big personality. Gottmik goes down to this fortune teller that's Tamisha Iman as like a Cher fortune teller, and she kind of like tells her to, get over it. I don't know. I feel like this team overall was pretty strong. Joey J like fumbled a little bit, but overall I think everyone just did really well. Tamisha Iman did need a little bit of training, but she really got there. She really excelled at the end and was really funny. Changes April, aka Gottmik, changes her mind, but allegedly, Joey J already signed the deed to Gottmik's boss, who's Tina. But the gag is that when the boss leaves, she signed that in invisible ink, like disappearing ink. Ha 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 ha. Gottmik is talking to Tamisha at the end, and it's like, "Oh, I just need one more thing." And she's like, "Don't tell me you needed a prince." And then all of a sudden, Jeffrey Boyer Chapman appears, but this time, instead of being a prince, he's dressed as Prince, very Purple Rain. So it's funny, they all the scripts kind of tie into each other, just like Hallmark movies. It's kind of just the same plot in different locations with very slightly little differences, but they're all pretty much the same. So on the runway, the theme is Trains for Days. Some of my favorite looks, Simone's obviously was the best, like to me, hands down, the long do-rag train. And I thought her outfit was just so cool. It was like a jumpsuit with a corset under it. I just thought she looked amazing. Like I said, I love streetwear. So, having the jumpsuit, it was a beautiful color. It had some nice beading on it. And so Simone just looked great. And obviously it was paying tribute to, Black culture. I think she just looked great. Kimura looked beautiful. Even before I saw that it was a reference to this Asian Bob Mackie doll. She just looked, her makeup was beautiful, like the dragon embroidery and all the details on the dress was just like gorgeous. Like she always looks stunning, like what can I say? I did really love Lala Ree's outfit, especially as it revealed into, it had kind of like a more covered up snake skin, and then she took it off and it was more of like a sexy version, but still had a little bit of a train. And it had the face mask and kind of covering her whole head. So I think she looked great. Joey J, I think, had a really cool concept, and I think it was kind of different from what we've seen from Joey so far. So I think that was really cool. I think maybe it wasn't 100% executed amazingly, but I think it was just a really cool concept, and it was something different for Joey. So I give her points for that. Got Mick, her outfit was cute. It was actually her sheer runway, because obviously they didn't participate in the sheer runway. So it was just all the trans flag colors, and she had like the leaf blower blowing it. So it wasn't as trainy. She posted on Instagram that she did have this whole train conductor outfit, but because Tina had hers, Gottmik decided not to do it. But Gottmik's looked better, so I think she should have kind of fought to do it, or just like done it. You know, if two people do the same thing and you look better, what's tea? Tina Burner, I think it looked okay. Obviously someone was going to do that train concept, and you know, she was the one that ended up doing it, but Gottmik and Rosé actually both had versions of it. I think Rosé just had the idea but didn't actually bring it. I don't think she actually had someone make it, whereas Gottmik, I think, actually had it with her. But Tina Burner, I just think it was very like costumey, and I just wasn't a humongous fan of it. I think there's a lot of looks in this runway that I liked in general. I think Elliot with two T's, I think she looked really great, but it wasn't necessarily a train. It was kind of just a cat suit with, you know, a belt and, you know, a long skirt attached to it, or kind of just like, so it was just kind of like attached. You know, Rosé kind of just had a suit with, you know, tulle on it. It wasn't like, it was just kind of tacked on it, for lack of a better word. So I don't think it really like fit the concept as strongly of the runway. But I think Denali also looked, just as the bird, she looked really gorgeous and just very colorful. So it's revealed that Olivia Lux, Ellie with two T's, who was safe? Ellie with two T's, Olivia Lux, Tina Burner, and Joey J, I want to say, are the safe queens. And Tamisha, sorry. I should have like wrote this down or something, but I just hopped in front of the camera and just hit play, hit record. So the top queens are Rosé, Simone, and who's the other top queen? Oh, and Candy. Candy's look was also just kind of something that she didn't necessarily bring for the runway, so I wasn't a huge fan, and she even posted online that her makeup, she tried something new with her makeup, and she was like, don't try new things with your makeup on national TV, because, you know, it's gonna be there forever. But because she did so well in the performance, she was in the top three. I think she was third out of the top three, because I think Rosé's look was a little better, and Rosé did really well in the acting challenge. But Simone was a clear winner. She was hilarious in the challenge. She had one of the big roles, and she really just gave it her own flavor, you know, put her own characterization in it, and just really delivered, and was funny, and had like affectations, and just, you know, she was acting. Ha! I'm acting. So, and her look, you know, like I said, I think her runway was my favorite. So, you know, I pegged her to be my winner of the whole season, and I still stand by that after this episode. So the bottom three, it's Lala Ree, Denali, and Kimora Hall. Lala Ree, I think, is just like, she's very funny in the confessionals, so I think she just kind of, I don't know if maybe it doesn't translate to acting on camera when you have to be a character and be funny. I think maybe she's just like a natural character. I feel like Candy Muse is kind of like that, but Candy maybe chose a character that was just kind of zany and wacky, so Candy was just kind of able to be zany and wacky, which is her personality, whereas Lala wasn't really doing that with her character. That Denali and Kimora were the bottom, and especially because they're both Chicago sisters, it obviously was, you know, at the end of the day, you have to think about the production of the show, and, you know, they're Chicago sisters together, and Denali was just in the top, So it does make for a good storyline. And let me tell you, Denali annihilated that lip sync. She said she was pulling out all the stops, and she did. And that's what you have to do. You know, if you might go home tonight, there's no use saving, you know, your runway tricks for the end. You like pull those things out today, because you might be going home tonight. So you want to show it all. You want to do flips. You want to, you know, be serving, doing whatever. Do all the tricks that you have in your book. Do them at this lip sync right now, because you could be going home. Kimora unfortunately was just in that like tight dress, so she was only able to kind of just walk around and like serve face and arms, unfortunately, so that kind of did hold her back. But Denali really killed it, and you know, Denali was the winner of the lip sync, and unfortunately Kimora Hall had to go home. I did have in my projections Kimora Hall to go home, so I was correct, unfortunately for her. I definitely recommend everybody go on Denali's Instagram. She posted a video. It's the same lip sync song that they lip sync to, but it's all Chicago drag queens. So Kimora and Denali are both in the video in their outfits from this episode, but it's just a bunch of different Chicago queens. Some we know from the show, some you might know from outside the show. Shea Coulee has a voiceover at the beginning of it, but Dita Ritz is in it, The Vixen is in it, Detox is in it, and people from Shea Coulee's house are in it. Lucy Stool, who's a queen I just know from Instagram and hearing her on podcasts and such. But there's just a lot of queens on it, and it's just a good representation of the Chicago drag scene. And it's just a really fun video. You see a bunch of different kinds of drag. I recommend everyone go check it out. So I have my projection, which was that Joey J will go home next. So we'll kind of see how that pans out. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you thought of this episode. Let me know who you think's going home next. Let me know who you think is winning. Let me know what you're excited for the next episode. Let me know. Sound off in the comments. Please like this video. Please subscribe. Like I said, comment. Please share to any other RuPaul's Drag Race fans. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, everyone. See you soon.